What do we have for Aquarius? The Tower, Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy at the foundation of the reading, Aqua. Aqua, before your reading, I was meditating on your energy, and I could see a blue spiral in my mind's eye. This blue spiral was representing the forward trajectory and the elevation that you are about to embark on this current leg of your journey. There's a lot of illumination. There's a lot of understanding that you're beginning to have, and this is what's creating this breakthrough. Now, one of the downloads I received for this reading, which is a bit of a heavy one, and I'm not going to hold back from saying this exactly the way I wrote it down, because it's important you hear it word for word, the way the download came through. But I heard very clearly, Aqua, that an evil warlock or witch has been draining your creative energy since you were born. And this is something that is going to be illuminated to you in some capacity in the coming days, weeks, and months. But it's not going to be so obvious. You're all of a sudden going to start having an influx of energy and creative ideas coming back to you. And the reason being, well, Aqua, we are entering into a time astrologically in this world where they cannot get away with it anymore. The line has been drawn in the sand, and the divine has called all of your energy back to all of you. The reason why this took place to begin with is because you were assigned specific orders on your mission in this life cycle that goes directly against this opposing force. Now, who is this evil warlock or witch? Could be both, it could be one or the other, or it could be something similar. That's just how they gave me the download. But it's most likely somebody who is very close to you. It could be family members. Typically speaking, it's going to be individuals that you always felt didn't have your best interest in mind. But the time has come now. The scales are tipping, and things are being brought back into divine order. A lot of chosen individuals have been pushed off their paths since the moment of inception into this life cycle. Most, if not all of you, have not had an easy go at it. When you're assigned a specific set of orders by the divine, because you are amongst a kind of elite group, you are told that this path is going to be very difficult. It's no cakewalk, let's just put it that way, when you are chosen to bring balance to the collective. And that's what chosen people do. I've been speaking about this in all the readings lately. I've been speaking about the energy wars, people being assigned specific duties to keep balance and vibrate certain frequencies into the collective to create that balance. Each one of you is given a different mission statement, but at the end of it all, you're all relatively working towards the exact same goal, and that is calibration. The reason why a lot of your paths have been so difficult for so long is because the divine needed to use all of you for this mission, which you all agreed to take, as a means to collect evidence, right? The evidence can be seen as these other opposing forces accumulating karma. Now we're reaching a time where all this karma has been accumulated, all the evidence has been gathered together, and we are about to strike back. This is one of the main reasons why we're seeing so much destruction on the earth. All of this is leading to a global shift. You have all woken up. You were sent here on a mission to do something that's probably even still difficult to put into words. And this is why I have been mentioning in the readings that it all has to do with energy, because this is the simplest way of trying to understand why you're here. Because at the core of it all, it begins with the energy of things. What do we have the sacral, please? Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy at the sacral. Aqua, this moment that you're in right now, the moment of accepting the truth, is the hardest part of the journey. It's the moment of awakening. It's this space that you have to go into to accept that things are the way they are. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it was all hidden from you. This is the space that the divine has put you in before you start spiraling upwards onto the next level in the game. This nostalgia that is flooding through for all of you is necessary. The divine doesn't want you to make up excuses for anybody that I feel may have created resistance on your path. And that sounds strange, right? But almost all of you have dealt with that in some capacity. It's like you have a way of blaming yourself for the way things turned out, which is exactly where they wanted you to begin with. They wanted you to think that it was all your fault. But what you're starting to understand now is that there was mind control at play, heavy and gaslighting. This is really what this comes down to. Queen of Swords also represents your energy, Aqua, and the necessity to accept the cold, hard truth as a means to move forward. A lot of you have been cast out. A lot of you were left with no one or nothing to fend on your own. They thought that you would just give up on yourself. They had been at this game with you for so long that they actually forgot why they came after you to begin with. They forgot that you were chosen for a specific mission. So just when they think that they had left you face down in the dirt, you got back up. This quickly reminded them of who you were. They had been at it for so long that they forgot what their mission was to begin with. I don't know why I go after Aquarius. I just know that I need to. Whilst you have Spirit guiding you and speaking to you, supporting you through all the difficulties, whispering in your ear to keep the faith that you're going to be okay, you're going to make it through. These individuals had the voice of evil whispering into their ear. A lot of you are starting to understand now that the individuals that have been holding you back this entire time are actually your mortal enemies. And this is always a trip when you connect this to family members, people that you have always known. The perspective shift has allowed you to see the truth now. You're starting to understand that you have no connection to any of these people spiritually, that you were incarnated into a kind of flesh prison by the divine to bring them before the divine courts. You were incarnated into their lives to be the deliverer of this tower. I just heard, you are the great destroyer. It's your greatness, it's your achievements that you are going to start heading towards now, Aqua, that is going to deliver a 1-2 punch to these principalities, to these karmic individuals that were working in tandem with the underworld to keep you off of your path, because you were brought here to help calibrate the collective in these times we are currently living in. What do we have? The solar plexus, please. Two of Pentacles in reverse, Capricorn energy at the solar plexus. These individuals wanted you to be juggling with the idea of who they think you should be and the knowing on a heart level who you really are. The Two of Pentacles represents an energy of disorder. It's as if every step of your life has been planned out in a strategic manner to scatter your energy and deliberately keep you away from the truth of who you are. As we can see here, there's a bunch of sheep. And clearly, it's giving the impression that you are a kind of black sheep, right? You bring balance. But in reverse, there's an energy where they wanted to make you feel like you're just another sheep. But then the crow is coming through to deliver the truth to you. That you are actually the great destroyer. I just heard, you are the great destroyer as a means to clear the way for innovation. It makes perfect sense. It gives an energy of breaking down old, worn-out structures that keep individuals in bondage. Oh, I mean, there's so many layers to this message that I'm getting here, so all of you are just going to have to take that and apply it as it resonates for your own set of circumstances, because it's going to be different for all of you out there. But this is huge energy that I'm picking up here, Aqua. This is also the kind of energy that would have you spinning your wheels, always consumed with the everyday grind of life, trying to figure out how to get from one day to the next, however that shows up for you. Constantly focused on things that don't ultimately matter in the grand scheme of your mission. It's just an energy of keeping you completely distracted with the meaningless drivel of life. So you waste your time on everything but the exact reason why you were sent here. And I have the Knight of Swords, also your energy here, Aqua, on the bottom of the deck. So there's an energy here, I think I mentioned this, it's just an energy that was very deliberate. They knew what they were doing. They knew that they were holding you back from something. But now we're starting to see here with this Knight of Swords that you're charging towards this new beginning. See, it's like you're burning down this village there, which can just really represent everything you've always known, right? The illusion, the lie. There's a lot of action inside of your energy on the backside of this realization of the truth. And on the bottom of this deck, I have the High Priestess. Okay, so divine guidance. What do we have at the heart, please? Three of Wands, Aries energy at the heart. Perfect. Now we're starting to see that after this realization, this understanding, or enough of it to actually get the wheels turning, you start preparing. Preparing for takeoff is what I just heard. It's like you're this eagle that's getting ready to rise. Rise out of your own ashes. And it looks like he's reading something there, right? I just heard coordinates. I just heard the coordinates of freedom. Yeah, this is really speaking about the understanding that you're beginning to have and the self-empowerment that you're really stepping into here as you bring this solar plexus chakra into balance and flip this Two of Pentacles. It allows for this entryway into the new timeline to reveal itself. It's an energy of expansion here. I'm also picking up a lot of movement inside your energy, which really goes without saying, but for some of you, this could be geographical. For some, you may be doing some traveling, you may be doing some sort of moving at the moment. But I'm picking up this visionary energy from you right now, Aqua, which doesn't surprise me because you really are the visionary of the zodiac, right? The innovator. This Three of Wands can also be an energy of an entrepreneur, right? So it may be that you're finally going after something that you have been feeling called to do for a long time, and for some, maybe your entire life. This could be directly connected to the reason why these individuals placed so much restriction and stagnation on your path, was to stop you from moving in this direction. What do we have at the throat, please? Oh. Wow. Restriction, stagnation, and what do we get? This lovely creature. He decided to show up to the party, Aqua. The devil. See, this is one of these energies where you go through this new level of the awakening process, right? The veil is ripped back, so to speak, and you just start to see a kind of truth that you never saw before. And most of it has to do with people in your life, or just life in general. Your perspective begins to shift, right? It's like waking up from one day to the next and seeing somebody who's maybe been in your life since you were a child for all the evil that they actually are. This could go back to what I mentioned in regards to you no longer making up excuses for people, right? I just heard the wicked will accuse others of what they're actually doing, right? Gaslighting. Oh, I didn't do that. That was actually you, you know. Maybe you need to talk to somebody, right? They want to try and make you think that there's actually something wrong with you, that you're going crazy. The devil at the throat. There's a energy here surrounding heavy mental manipulation, Aqua. I feel like people have been messing with your mind for far too long. People have been trying to keep you indoctrinated into a lie. And interestingly enough, when it comes to individuals like yourself that are chosen for this kind of path, this is a very common tactic that will be used. You're in this point in your life right now where you're actually starting to see this. You're looking back, you're like, oh my God, life is so wild. It's so much more interesting than I even thought it actually was. It's like you start to realize that life is actually a lot like some of these fantasy movies that we see. There's a lot of truth in that. I know I certainly have felt that way on my awakening journey. The more and more I go through the process, the more I start to realize that a lot of those movies that we had access to from our younger years until now were actually little seeds of truth. It's like they all tell the kind of story of you. This journey you're on, Aqua, it's very much an energy of feeling like the whole world and your reality has been constructed in a very specific manner to keep you indoctrinated into the lie. Again, another part of the awakening journey that you all go through, feeling like it's all a matrix, it's all meticulously crafted to keep you where they want you. Because it is. Oh yes, it very much is, Aqua. I remember when I began going through my major awakening, a lot of what I'm telling you here is how I felt, and I thought I was going crazy. It's like, what? Come on, this can't be true. But as the years have gone by, I look back on that original point of awakening, and there's nothing that was channeled to me or that the divine made aware to me that I see any differently now. If anything, I have just witnessed more and more things over the years to confirm that it was all true. So in saying that, pay attention to what you're feeling right now. Don't try and shut out any feelings, emotions, ideas, or downloads you may be getting. We have a tendency to do this when we're going through the awakening journey because we don't know what part of it is attached to this kind of matrix or attached to our ego. But it's during these actual periods of time in your life, Aqua, where spirit is closest to you, helping you go through the transformation process. So trust what you're feeling. Take the time to write down the downloads you're getting as well. This is something that I've always done during the different legs of my awakening journey is take lots and lots of notes. And I file them away, and I seem to find them further down my path at the absolute perfect time. Now is the time where you have this very clear, very open channel with the divine. It's very raw and it's very magical. But this energy can't hide from you anymore. This energy can't hide from any of us anymore. It's been completely exposed. It's been spotlighted in the dark. It's scared. It doesn't want to be seen. It doesn't want to be dragged out into the light. What do we have at the third eye, please? Seven of Swords, Shadow, Aquarius energy at the third eye. See, there's this energy here. I mean, it goes without saying, they were taking advantage of your energy, right? It's essentially going back to what I said about this evil warlock and witch draining your creative energy since you were born, right? This is that energy that's been caught now. Devil next to Seven of Swords. We can see very clearly this individual is trying to sneak away with, let's say, your energy, right? But they're walking into a trap now. See, they think that they can keep getting away with the same thing that they've done to you year after year. And I don't know why. Well, I guess it's probably because of this color here, but I just heard mustard. Okay, that's going to mean something to somebody out there. Mustard. But we can see with this devil and the Seven of Swords, right? What's been going on. See, in the energy, everything I'm saying, this is how it really looks. See, they're extensions of this devil energy. This devil energy has been feeding off of you. Feeding off of your creative potential, so to speak. And for most, if not all of you, this was right underneath your nose, which really suggests that it was people close to you. Because Seven of Swords is a very sneaky, very stealth-like energy. It's also an energy of betrayal. And on the bottom of the deck, I have the Queen of Swords again, right? But this Queen of Swords is slightly different because you've accepted the truth now, and see how there's that butterfly there? And we can see this eagle in the background has taken flight, right? The eagle, the butterfly, which is representing transformation. So this acceptance of the truth is what leads to your elevation, right? That spiral, that trajectory upward. What do we have at the crown? Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy at the crown. I just heard Aqua very clearly, and then it finally happens. All of this leads you to that new level. It begins this new chapter. Your life, it's like a kind of fairy tale. You don't even realize it. See, individuals who are chosen to walk the path that you've been on, Aqua, are highly gifted people that are incredibly blessed, but not until you accept the truth surrounding what it is you've been dealing with this entire time will you be able to access that. That is the deal here. Because it works in tandem. This is the story. And to access the story, you must end this chapter. What do we have at the foundation, please? Knight of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy at the foundation of the reading. These individuals were trying to sell you a dream, but what you're starting to understand now is that it was actually a nightmare. Now, for those of you that are dealing with family dynamics, these are individuals that told you or influenced you to do things the way that they do them. This could be directly connected to a way that you may have been raised, certain standards that were taught to you that just don't work anymore. You're starting to realize that some of these things you were taught have brought you way more pain and hurt on your path than they have happiness and security, which goes back to what I said about this. I'm getting ringing in my ears now, so confirming what I'm saying to be true goes back to what I said about these individuals doing things deliberately. It's like from a child. They just looked at you and knew that they had to stop you. They have no idea from what. Could have been 4 or 5 years old. And they just felt like they needed to get in the way of you and something that you're going to do at some point in your life. So it's like they placed you inside a maze without you even being aware of it. But it was all supposed to go down exactly like it did because of this story, right? I just heard the story you will tell. That story will bring comfort and healing to those who may be on a similar path that are feeling lost. You know, I can really speak for that because I know that when I went through my initial awakening, hearing other people's stories really helped me a lot. And now doing what I do here, I can share some of my story, and I know that it helps bring comfort to some other people out there. Because at the end of the day, it really comes down to you just knowing that even though you could possibly be alone in this moment, depending on your situation, you're not alone in spirit. There's a whole bunch of us just like you out there, Aqua, that are going through different but similar things. We're all fighting this together. What do we have at the sacral, please? 9 of Pentacles, Virgo energy at the sacral. And here they are, with all the tactics that they used, the gaslighting, and everything else that came with that, as a means to hold you back. They wanted you to feel isolated. They wanted you to feel forgotten or insignificant. But this is also speaking about just how badly they took advantage of you. And I'm thinking more in terms of energy, the energy they took from you. And of course, a lot of that was made available to them by the way they influenced you to move in your everyday waking life, or, depending on your situation, just them being around you, witnessing you going through struggles, and quite possibly these individuals making your struggles even harder behind your back without you even knowing it, right underneath your nose, right? This is what you're accepting this truth around now. And this is all coming out right at the sacral position, right? So your sacral is where all your creative energy starts. This is representing the fire in your belly, right? It's like all of this was being drained away from you, right? All of your creative potential. When I look at this card, it just looks like somebody who's sitting on talents, sitting on blessings and gifts that don't belong to them. Right? Energy that was trying to steal your destiny. Try to show up as you. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? 7 of Wands. Wow. So this 7 of Wands from this deck actually represents black magic, okay? I knew that I was right on target when I got the download about the evil warlock and the witch draining your energy. And then we get this particular card, Glacea Labalis. So there's an energy here. It says right here, can make one invisible. So this energy here was basically trying to control the outcome, trying to navigate your destiny. It's like they were trying to be in the driver's seat, however that shows up for you. And the 7 of Wands, I mean, this represents a lot of energies coming at you, trying to keep you off of your path. An energy that wants you to feel overwhelmed, just really wants you to give up, wants you to feel discouraged, like nothing ever goes your way. And there's no good reason for that. You know, again, this is something that I fought against for most of my life until I woke up to the truth. I just got to the point where I felt forgotten by the universe. I felt that I was insignificant. I felt that I didn't have any real purpose. I felt that I wasn't important and that things would be no different whether I was here or gone. And the people I had around me supported that way I felt. But what I came to find out is that all of those feelings and emotions I had were all meticulously crafted by the individuals I had around me. Once I started to realize that, which was me accepting my own truth, it was like from one day to the next, everything just started to shift. The spell had broken. I started to see the truth, removed myself from these individuals' lives. And then my life has been on a steady trajectory upwards ever since. I quickly started to see that there was a significance to my path, that I did have a purpose, and that I did matter. As I've navigated further and further down my path, I still look back in disbelief. It is hard to wrap your head around the fact that family can do something like that to you. But for all of you, when you are hand-selected for a path like this, these are the kinds of obstacles you will be faced with in your life. Like I said, the path is no cakewalk. It's very difficult. It's very hard. But this energy here is also directly connected to this devil at the throat. Because black magic can be different forms of mental manipulation, and it can also be different kinds of word witchery, right? People casting spells with their tongue, with their words surrounding your life. Now, this could be things they said to you to try and discourage you. Could be things they said behind your back to try and affect the public perception surrounding who you are. That could speak about circles of friends, your family. You know, it's like people gathering together to speak about you, tell lies about you without you even knowing it. And why? Because of this 2 of Pentacles right here, which speaks about you being the great destroyer, right? You being here to bring balance. So all of this led to you being in this energy here where you're not able to understand what your mission is and to get in that space to fulfill it. And then right on the bottom of the deck, I have Baphomet. So we have Baphomet twice here. This is actually the Magician card, though, which from this deck, this speaks about, again, scattering your energy. It's an energy of manipulation, which is what I just spoke about. And it speaks about latent talents, right? So that's them not giving you the support to help you develop your gifts and your talents, but instead creating stagnation, obstacles and blocks on your path without you even knowing it, and then passing it off as, oh, you're not that special, you're not that significant. And Aqua, I just heard you need to move in silence. The power of silence. Guard your lips, guard your life. True power and purpose don't need recognition from anyone. It's between you and Source. And this is also something that's been coming up in the readings as well. The wicked, right? These people here saying that they're what you are, right? Saying they're a chosen one, or they're a high priestess, or they're a high priest. And they may be those things, but they're working for the opposing force. They were chosen by the devil. They're working for the dark. See, there's a polar opposite to all of this. But what I have really started to realize, Aqua, is that people who are really these things don't feel the need to go out and seek validation for it because they're too focused, they're too busy on their path, consumed by their mission. They're not running around saying, hey, I'm chosen, hey, I'm an empress. People who are actually on their path and their mission don't behave in this manner. For the most part, you just start functioning inside of that space, and you kind of keep to yourself, just focusing on your mission. But simply put, you don't feel the need to put a label on anything that you may be, because your level of understanding is so much higher than that of the three-dimensional density that labels don't even really exist. What do we have at the heart, please? Too many cards. What do we have at the heart? Too many cards. What do we have at the heart? What do we have at the heart? Perfect. 10 of Pentacles, blasphemy. This just follows what I just said, right? So it says right here, blasphemy. So it's like these are the kinds of individuals that put God's name in their mouth, masquerade as God's chosen elite. These are individuals that show great disrespect to God and the divine order. And they do this as a means to confuse people, to get people off of their path. It's like they're trying to show you which direction you need to move in to access God. They're trying to tell you that if you don't access God in the specific way that they are telling you to, then you're going to hell. When in reality, their whole purpose is to guide you to hell anyway. You access God, Source, Spirit, the divine, by going inward. Nothing and no one has any control over that except for you. And then we have Cahathel, the Ace of Pentacles, divine blessings. Eye of God, right at the heart of the reading. And I just heard very clearly, now you see, my chosen one. You are ready to accept the truth, and you are ready to remember who you are. This is one of these energies where you go from thinking that there's no significance to your life and who you are, to realizing that the world would be a very different place without you, that it would be a little less darker had you not have been here, experiencing it in your own unique way and helping bring calibration and alignment within the path that has been hand-selected by God himself just for you. Ace of Pentacles is speaking about you making some sort of a real-world impact functioning inside of this space. Now, some people, when they hear that, it sounds overwhelming. Real-world impact? Well, I just kind of live in this small area. I'm not really looking for anything like that. But what you need to understand here is that we're speaking in terms of energy. You could go out and affect the life of one other person tomorrow by a single conversation that can have a domino effect on the entire planet. You just don't know the trajectory of your influence. All that matters is that you move in accordance with your mission and what the divine is requesting of you to do on your path. And that, my friends, is how you make a real world impact energetically. And when you are functioning inside of this space, Spirit, the Great Spirit, will provide you with what you need to progress forward inside of that space. You will be provided for. What do we have at the throat, please? 7 of Cups, Scorpio energy, Ashila at the throat. God, the just judge. See, here you are now in the divine courts, right? It's like you're awakening to the truth. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe these demons, they stole all that time away from me. Makes truth known in legal proceedings. So think legal proceedings that are taking place in the divine, right? It's just another way of really understanding the energy. You get inside this space here, and it has a way of triggering judgment into the lives of these individuals. Props you up. It positions you in this space that the divine had prepared just for you. It just creates this kind of domino effect, which goes back to what I said about you creating domino effects. So you getting functioning inside of this space not only helps calibrate, but it also brings justice to you on your path. It all works in tandem. And this is right underneath the devil. Clarity. The illusions are just ripped away. You see the truth now. What do we have at the third eye, please? Hermit. Virgo energy at the third eye. Word of God creating all. Alchemy and transformation. Rules natural events. Helps with spiritual progress. So I'm thinking back to what I said about even though some of you may be alone in your everyday waking life, it's very important that you understand that you are not alone. You actually have access to the divine at all times simply by going inward, right? Whether it's through meditation, prayer, whatever you choose as your spiritual practices. But this also speaks about your inner guidance. It's like your internal GPS system coming online to now properly discern these energies moving forward. See, make no mistake, you've learned a lot. You've gathered a lot of wisdom. You won't be so easily fooled next time. And, you know, not to say that you were fooled. It really just depends on what your circumstances were here. Some of you just had no choice in the matter. You were born into these timelines with these families. There's just no way of knowing. You didn't know that you were surrounded by demons when you were a little kid. You just thought that they were normal, that was the standard, right? Something I can personally relate to. But moving forward now, it arms you with a very strong sense of discernment and wisdom. I mean, you just can't put a price on this kind of wisdom because it's this deep knowing now that can give you the tools to access new spaces, new realms. Especially when used in combination with this hermit energy. Your wisdom and discernment used in combination with the divine makes you completely unstoppable. Because this speaks about an individual who is completely awakened to their purpose, or enough of it to at least get moving in the direction of it. What do we have at the crown to close out the reading for Aqua, please? Boom. Judgment. Pluto, Scorpio energy at the crown to close out the reading. I knew it. We start with the Tower, and we end on Judgment. God hidden in darkness. Atonement of errors, destroys the power of enemies, and humiliates them. We spoke this card into existence. Everything that we've channeled through has led to this energy here. No other card could have closed out this reading any better than this Judgment card. A final decision has been made, and it's all triggered by you accepting the call, gathering this new perspective, accepting the truth of how things have been, which triggers the awakening, leads to that rebirth, and pushes you in the direction of your mission and purpose, which gives you the discernment, the wisdom, and the purpose to push forward in power as you spiral in a steady trajectory into the next chapter of your life. Aqua, this is the message I have available to all of you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations, Aqua. Take care.